Hi, everyone. Welcome to the webinar. We're really excited for this event. We'll just be starting in a few minutes and let a few more people trickle in.
Hey, everyone. Welcome.
Everybody welcome.
Welcome in, everybody. We're just waiting a couple minutes for some more people to join us. In the meantime, though, where is everybody from? Oh, awesome. We were just talking about Canada. I'm actually from Charlotte, so that's awesome to hear.
I'm actually in Canada right now, in Barrie, Ontario, just north of Toronto.
Oh, Turks and Caicos. That sounds really nice weather-wise. Here I'm in Pennsylvania, and it's really gloomy and cold.
Oh, that's a pity because it's a little chilly here, but it's nice and sunny, I must say. It's been really beautiful. The whole day has really been nice.
I miss seeing the sun. Oh, wow. We have people from all over. That's awesome.
Anybody from Michigan? That's where I normally would be broadcasting from, but I happen to be traveling here in Ontario this week. And really glad to be presenting this stuff to you. We love the SolisCloud, and you'll get a great run through today.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and get started.
That's great. Thanks, Miriam. Thanks for all the setup for this. And although everybody, this is SolisCloud 101, basic use of our monitoring platform and how to get more out of it, how to use it, how to register, these sorts of things. We'll go through the whole thing. My name is Terrence Parker. I am a compliance and application engineer here at Solis. I've been here since 2016. It's been a great job, and I've seen a lot of growth in this company, and I hope you've also seen more and more of our brand name getting out there. But I'm not alone here. Really, I just have my picture and my name up there, but in reality, I'm joined by my colleague, Zach. Zach, hey, how you doing?
Hi, Terrence, and hello, everyone. My name is Zakaria Dereli. I'm an application engineer at Solis. I've been working at Solis since 2023. Today I'll be showing you a live demo of SolisCloud. It's going to be a really helpful demo, I believe.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We're not just going to be going through some slides and showing you some static images. We're going to get online and show you a little bit about how to navigate the website. So I'm also joined by my colleagues, Miriam and Courtney, to set all this up. Miriam, do we want to go through some of this?
Yeah, thank you. So just a few quick things. Everybody's muted except for the speakers. And after this webinar is over, you'll get a link immediately to the recording, so then you can watch the recording anytime. Also, ask us any questions. If you look at the right at the bottom, there's a few different sections, and one of them is questions. So if you just go in there and ask us a question, we'll either like respond in real time, cover during the question answer. If we don't get to it, we'll just type out a reply. There's also some polls, and I actually have one poll up right now. So if you could please answer that, that would be great.
Yeah, answer the polls. It's a fun way for you to engage with us and give us some great information about you and how you're enjoying the webinar.
Yeah, exactly. And then follow us on these social media platforms so you can hear about future webinars or trade shows, any kind of events like that. Okay, Terrence, I'll hand it off to you.
Thanks, Miriam. Today, we're just going to talk about the topics that we're going to cover and a little bit of background on Solis and especially our service and support team. It's really important to us. We want to be your tier 1 service group and pick up the phone when you call and provide answers when you call. And so we want to prove that out to you. So we've got an 866 number, and we welcome you to give it a ring and prove me wrong if we don't pick up the phone. Pretty sure we will. We've really built up that team. Then we'll talk a little bit about the products, Solis inverters, and we're an inverter manufacturer, and we'll talk a little bit about that. And of course, the main presentation today is going to be about our SolisCloud, the cloud-based monitoring platform. So let's get into it. Solis, yes, that's our brand name, our brand logo there. We started out in 2005, and we got to the U.S. in 2009, and we never left. I joined the company in 2016, and it was just 4 or 5 of us at the time, and now there's over 45. So we've really built the team since 2016. I've seen a lot of growth in this company through the years. 2019, the company went public. We've done quite a bit of white labeling with different manufacturers, CSI and Sunrun and Fortress and a bunch of others, Jinko, and we still do some of that today. But indeed, ever since we went public, we've really been trying to bring that Solis brand name out. So you'll see that Solis logo, the one you see in the top right there, you'll see that on all of our inverters these days. In 2021, we're at 40 gigs, and here we are in 2024, and we're at 80 gigs, and we maybe will get up all the way up to 100 gigs by the end of the year. So we're really, if you were to Google our stock code number down there, that's the Shenzhen Stock Exchange, you'd see that we're spending quite a bit of cash on building up our factories. And I'm going to show you a picture of our newest factory. We're quite proud of it. There's an ABB robot. You can see we do a lot of robotics at our facility. Over 4,500 of us globally. It's a great company to work for. I can interact with my colleagues in Italy or Spain or Mexico. It's really a fun company to work for. Over 10% of us are in R&D and engineering. Of course, we are the factory, so we have the patents, we have the relationships, and as I noted, 80 gigs capacity, 26 shipping in 2022, over 50 in 2023. So we'll be able to give you even more accurate numbers here coming up on shipments in 2023. But we've maintained our position number 3 in global shipments globally behind Huawei and SunGrow. Almost a $3 billion company you're working with, a bankable company with fully automated production lines. We make our own boards. We, have our own board making patents and making machines. We've really integrated the production lines because remember, we're serving a global market. So we're putting inverters in England and putting inverters in Australia and putting inverters in the United States. Well, and they have different regulatory issues and stuff we have to work with. And so we have to be able to integrate the lines, but also be able to separate and be able to switch to new products when we need to. This goes all the way out to our warehousing as well. It's a 3D warehouse, and what that means is that we really can pick and place and keep things organized, and through distribution and management of the products through like this three-dimensional look at our overall warehousing. It's really quite advanced. You can see a picture of the factory there. It's got a Starbucks in it, and so it's a someplace you could actually visit if you wanted. You could fly into Shanghai, and we could drive you down to the factory in Ningbo and show off our product. So yeah, you can see the shipments have been rising steadily. It's been a good company to work for. Like I say, it's been in the black every year since 2015. Even in 2020, we were able to pull a little bit of profit in COVID year because we work in the Netherlands and Southeast Asia, and they came out of COVID a little earlier, and so we were able to take advantage of that and just barely get into the black that year. So it's a well-managed company. You can see that if your bankers, for example, want to get a little bit more information about how we operate and the whole product line globally, they can get this DNVGL report. It's quite flattering for our company's management and organization and the products that we make. And should you want to, just do some due diligence in Europe, where a lot of our market is, you can look up EUPD research and see that we are a top brand for them. And we've gotten awarded by their team 8 years in a row. So we're very proud of that. So that's our global organization. And we're in over 100 countries. And the U.S. is an important market for us. Our founder has really focused on the U.S. market. He's built an infrastructure and a full team here because of the importance of this market. So I want to talk a little bit about how we're organized here in the U.S. and Canada. You can see that we have just a select group of distributors, and indeed we do go to market through distribution. There is some direct sales and commercial if you're over 2 containers, and resi if you're over container, these sorts of things. You can start talking to us about direct sales, but generally we love to support our distributors. We've had long-term relationships with Baywa and Power Store and Gullivan and Kranich. And we're starting new relationships with companies like ABC, which is traditionally more of an electrical and building supply company, but we feel as though these are the kind of companies that are really going to start getting involved in solar. We have a 3PL. We have a warehouse where we can keep product, high runners and RMAs, that sort of thing. So we can get the job done in 48 hours if you have an emergency, you need to get that inverter reinstalled. And we also work with all of the big organizations here in North America. SIA, we've been a member since 2010. And we are a proud member of SunSpec, as well as a participant with California Solar and Storage Association. CALSA does some great lobbying and advocacy work for our entire industry, something worth supporting, I think. And I also might encourage you to support NABCEP. NABCEP is a North American Board of Certified Energy Practitioners. A lot of the guys on this call maybe are NABCEP certified, and it's a good way to break into the business, put a certificate on the wall proving your training. And actually, we're going to be participating in some presentations at NABCEP this year in Raleigh, North Carolina. We hope to see you there. As far as our infrastructure here in the United States, our commitment is strong, and we're building new warehouse and lab space. We think Dallas might be a good place for us. We got a lot of folks in that work for Solis that are living in the Dallas area, but we're looking around for a site still. So in addition to the folks and the products, we also have a service portal where you can go and you can search out warranty information or get product documents, spec sheets, that sort of thing. You may have an alarm code that you saw on your monitoring platform, for example, and you can go to the service portal here or just Google search it on your phone, and you can get videos or app notes or something on that, and really be prepared when you get to the site with what you need to do when you get there. And that's what we want to do. If you are going to roll out to the site, we want to make sure it's an efficient visit, that you kind of know what's going on before you get there. And this monitoring platform we're going to talk about today is really the key to that. It's a two-way communicating platform, and so you're going to be able to actually manipulate the inverter a little bit from your desk, and you'll be able to pull down some videos and other app notes and things to deal with any alarm codes you see on the platform. So ready when you're out there, efficient visit. But here's something we're particularly proud of. This is our 866 number. Please write it down, take a screenshot or whatever. Like Miriam said, you'll get a copy of this Prezzo. But really, it's a number that we consider a tier 1 number, so that means we pick up the phone. And typically it takes about a minute to get through our menu, but look at that average duration. It's only about 5 minutes. And the reason that is because we only have 28 error codes. And so really, these guys know when you tell them what you're seeing, usually within the first 5 minutes, they know whether or not that's something that we can just deal with, deal with immediately. Maybe it's an automatic RMA. Maybe it's something that we can just tell you what you should do. Or maybe you need to look at an app note or video or something to deal with that. If it requires escalation, we'll get up to level 2, and you can see some of our level 2 guys there with an open inverter. Indeed, they're the guys that are out there working on your inverter or even commissioning. We do some commissioning services where if ahead of time you can coordinate that with our team, and our level 2 guys can be on the phone or actually even physically in person in some cases to help you make sure that customer experience in the beginning, that first installer experience you have with commissioning our inverter, is a good one, and we want that to happen. So another thing you should know is that every time you call, it gets immediately logged into our CRM system. So you can really track what's going on with your ticket, what the progress is, the responses that you've gotten back from us. You can track all the emails back and forth. So it's really very transparent and built for you to make sure that you know what the heck's going on with your ticket. We like to say that we bring the products, but we also bring the people. And indeed, we built up quite a team here in the U.S. It's a diverse team. I'm very proud of it. A lot of experience on this team. Jimmy, our founder, is there in the middle, and the rest of the team surrounding him there. Years and years of experience from all over globally. We've recruited from a lot of the companies that you know, and they've joined the Solis team because, well, it's well organized. We've got management teams right here in the U.S., inside and outside sales, as well as application engineering, which me and Zach work in, and compliance engineering as well. And I already mentioned our tier 1 service. And of course, I got to give a shout out to our marketing team who really set up a lot of this for us today. And is so helpful in understanding, our business and how we need to talk with you guys, and then understanding your businesses and how they can communicate to the customers that we're after. So we welcome you to take a look at Solis, and I think you'll find that not only are we open and transparent with what we have, we're also available for you. We have a good warranty. We have warranty extension capabilities. You can, typically these warranties are for 5 or 10 years, depending on the size of the inverter, and you can extend them up, 10, 15, 20 years even. We've even done a 25-year warranty in the past with Sunrun. That's the kind of confidence that we have in our product. So let's take a look at the products. You can see it's a full line of products. We're really rolling from all the way from very small 3.6K all the way up to our 350K. We just introduced this new product, and that utility scale stuff is really interesting because we're combining it together into a full skid, so that now we're using PV string inverters to essentially give you a central inverter architecture, but with the modularity that a solution like this can provide to you. And then down at the small end, we offer a 3.6 to 10K standard grid tie. And we've been doing this since I joined the company in 2016, and they are rock solid. It's really where we built a lot of our reputation, is on the reliability of the residential product and the rooftop product. You can see that in the middle there. We do 75 to the 100K in 3-phase product, and that is just a winner for you guys and for us. We're finding that its wide operating ranges work really well in repowering and that sort of thing. And it really was a kind of a neglected class of inverters. Everybody seemed to stop at 66 and then jump over 100. So we really offer a beautiful set of inverters for that set of power levels from 75, 80, 90, and 100K. And we invite you to take a look at that. The smaller three-phase stuff from 25 to 60, they're actually in a little bit smaller form factor, and that compact little inverter there, we offer it in that 208 as well. It's really easy to install. All of these inverters, when you open the box, come with a bracket to mount it on the wall and a bag of connectors that match the connectors on the bottom of the inverter, because this is truly a plug and play device. These commercial inverters, you just plug the DC home runs right into them and carry on. The other really unique product that we offer are these communication devices. These are data loggers. The ones on the bottom there are cellular data loggers, and the ones on top are Wi-Fi and hardwire data loggers. And you can daisy chain a bunch of our inverters together up to 10 and use a single stick. And so we call them sticks, just sort of a nickname for them, because you can hold them in your hand and they're plug and play. They literally just feed right into a port on the bottom of the inverter. 5 volts, safe to change out if the customer wants to switch over from Wi-Fi over to cellular, for example. You can unplug one and plug in the other, and it's that easy. So they have their own LEDs and their own reset buttons on them, and the cool thing about the cellular ones is they come with their own SIM card, a 5 or a 10-year plan, or no SIM card at all, and there's a little door on there, and you can actually insert your own SIM card into these cellular devices. So should you have some relationship with US Cellular or something else, you can actually put in their own SIM card and control your own cellular plans for your customers. Real flexibility. With that, I just kind of want to throw out this question. Everybody, if you might take a look at this, I'm really kind of curious to know how familiar you are with the cloud. This is I think our 3.2 version, something like that. So I was here when we released our SolisCloud 1 and SolisCloud 2 and most recently SolisCloud 3, and I was just wondering, who we got in the audience, folks that are using the cloud regularly, or you haven't really seen this before. So I'm kind of curious to know what you're feeling on that.
And you can answer the poll in the poll section of this platform.
Thanks, Mary. That's right. You don't need to memorize all those answers there. You can look in the poll questions, and there's a number of other polls there too as well. If you have if I take a break or something like that, take a look at those and check it out. Let's take a look at the cloud. So what is it? Well, it's a whole home or whole business or whole site energy monitoring solution. It's a way to really manage your entire fleet. You can set up different, a number of inverters at each site, or just one inverter at each site, and then categorize and set up all of your sites on your particular cloud, and you can then manage all your sites from one place. In our hybrids and our smaller inverters, we actually have a new app. You can see it there right in the center that shows not only what's going on with your PV and the grid, but also what's going on with your battery and your loads. And so it's a new day, really, I think, when it comes to residential and especially rooftop commercial, where we're finally able to bring batteries back to these home and business owners. Because I got to say, when I joined solar, back in 1988, everybody had batteries. And it wasn't until about 2001 when John Berdner brought over the first SMA inverter, grid tie, the 2.5K, that we really started seeing a grid tie inverters, and everybody switched over quite quickly after that. And we really haven't seen batteries in PV since. And so it was really great to see that the industry, I guess it was the electric vehicle industry that introduced folks to the lithium-ion battery, and the solar industry was able to bring that in. And so now we're able to see batteries and PV in these systems, and I couldn't be happier. It's really, and our cloud can track all of that. You can track your battery. You'll be essentially managing not only your PV and your inverter, but also your battery via the cloud. It's important to know that you'll be able to get data every 5 minutes, but should you not need that much data, you can set it for 10 or an hour or whatever you like. It's very controllable that way. And you can also, think about what's going on with the weather, and then you can maybe get into your app and maybe save a little bit more in your battery than you already are. And so you get that controllability. It's really the kind of thing that when I was, running my little business off grid with a battery, I kind of had to do that myself, kind of switching things back and forth. But now we can do it with our phone or via SolisCloud. It's really very powerful. It's a two-way communicating platform, which is maybe a result of interoperability. Interoperability was something that is required of all grid tie systems now. And this particular cloud is a 2030.5 client aggregator, meaning that when the utilities are from their secure servers want to control or command the inverters to set the active power, to discharge some battery, that sort of thing, to help stabilize the grid, that command will go through our server, our secure server, and speak the language. 2030.5 is a communication protocol, and speak the language of the inverters and be able to control them. So it's very powerful and really in communication with the grid. And so it's really quite easy to get involved. You really it's free, right? So there's no charge, and you can, as I note, get full access to the inverters that you've installed. Everyone that you've installed and installed a communication dongle onto, you have complete control over remotely. And you can troubleshoot, you can diagnose, given the information and charting that you can do, specialty charting that you can do for particular MPPTs or whatever. So it's really in a multi-tiered account structure. I'm going to have Zach come on here, and we're going to go through a little bit of this. And it's really available on any of your computers, Apple or Android or whatever. And what I want to do now is I want to talk about some of the first steps that you're going to do when you decide to join us here on SolisCloud. You're going to set yourself up as either an owner who is just looking for visibility into their system, or an organization who is looking for more control of their organization. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to stop sharing and give the messaging over to Zach. And let me disable my sharing. Hey, Zach, how are you?
Hi,
and good to see you. And thanks for helping me out today.
Of course. And again, everybody welcome. And before I get started, I just wanted to also show you what the data logger sticks look like. For those of you who never used SolisCloud monitoring or never used any of our inverters, this is the data logger stick. As Terrence mentioned, you can have one data logger stick for every 10 inverters daisy chain. So just thought I could show it to you right now since I have one. All right, let me share my screen. All right, we will go over the SolisCloud.
Yeah, I really want to start out with, the difference between an organization and an owner.
Yes, all right. So as mentioned earlier, with SolisCloud, you're going to register as an owner or organization. For today's demo, we will show you an organization account because it gives you the most advanced features. For owner accounts, it's simply just monitoring. There's no controls. You can't really do any settings or any adjustments. But again, organization accounts give you the full access to pretty much every inverter settings, data logger settings, or like grid code settings and whatnot. So again, today we will be showing you the organization account. So go to solisinverters.com and under service and support, click on monitoring. Now, what you're going to have to do is click on register and click again organization. And again, anybody other than a homeowner should choose organization. And just a parenthesis I like to open here. Please create one account per organization, because you can always create more accounts under the organization. You can create sub accounts. If you have an O&M partner, installers, you can give access to them. You can create their own accounts under your organization if you like to. And again, once you create an organization account, the first registered account will be the director, so it will have all the features available to them. So there's no point in creating multiple accounts in the same organization. That's what I'm trying to actually say. Click on organization, and all you need is an email address. Type the email address, like, user@gmail.com, and click on verification code. And this is going to send you a verification code. You need to type that into this field here, agree to the terms, hit next, and just a few more questions to set up your account, and you'll be all set. Once you created the account, you're just going to go and click on login, agree to terms, and now you are in SolisCloud.
And so this is just typically the first screen, isn't it, Zach? The plant overview.
Yes. This is the main kind of like welcome screen, if you like to put it that way. The overview is basically give you an overview of the plant or overview of the devices. So if you have a system, once you have the account, you will see all the plants registered under your account. And if you click on device overview, you will have all the devices in your account. Now, next thing you want to do once you register for an account is to add a plant, right? Now, you created your account. Obviously, you don't have any plans right now, right? This is your first time. Your list will be empty. So what you're going to do is click on this button here at the right top corner, add plant. And all you need to do is type some information here on these fields: plant name, plant type. It could be a residential, commercial, utility plant, or storage plant. And the area, geographical location, the address, time zone. And if you want to get some info about how much revenue it's been generated, you can type the currency, select the currency. And if your plant already installed and have a data logger, you can actually add the data logger by clicking on this plus button. Type the serial number, click on the plus button, and that's how you add the data logger to it. You can always add the data logger at a later time. Let's say you want to just create the plant today. You don't have the data logger yet. You can create your plant. Obviously, you won't be able to monitor it, right? Because you don't have a data logger. But then you can go to the plant, modify information to add the data logger.
All right. So it's really, you need both the inverter serial number and the data logger serial number.
To add the data logger to the plant, it's just the data logger serial number.
All right. And so what if I want to add a homeowner or guest to this plant?
Sure. Let's, for instance, right now, let's go for a specific plant. Let's just choose one of our engineers' lab. Once you click on the plant listed under the list of plants, right? The right top corner, you will see a button says modify information. Now there, you have basically all the information you put when you add the plant, right? And then associated account is where you add your owner, or you want to add guest to your plants.
Got it.
This is where they do it. Just as a side note here, you can have only one owner for the plant, but you can add multiple guest accounts. All you need to do is, again, click on this plus button here and type the email address of the guest. or same thing for the owner. This site already has an owner, so we're not going to assign a new one yet, but all you have to do is put the email address of the guest, and then the person will get an email. If they already have a SolisCloud account, the site will show up in their account. So this is how you add a guest or owner to the plan.
Hey, now I'm wondering. Let's get into the monitoring part of it. Let's take a look at what this platform can do.
Sure. So again, once you select the plant that you want to show, right, or display, again under the plant overview, you select the plant. Basically, type the plant name, hit search, click on the plant. So this site in particular is a hybrid site with a hybrid inverter, which has a battery component. So it's a little bit more detailed than a regular grid tie inverter. You have a battery, you have PV, inverter, backup ports, the grid ports. So you get more data, actually, more components displayed. But I'm also going to show you how it looks like a regular grid tie inverter. Right? So also, if you want to, again, look at the components of the plant, right? Let's say you want to see what the inverter is doing, not just the whole overall plant. You can go under device, and this will be the devices listed under that plant connected to a data logger.
Zach, I think your screen needs to be refreshed.
Okay. Just 1 second.
Yeah, for a minute there, Zach, I wasn't seeing the screen to change.
Can you see it now? Is it not changing?
I can see the screen.
How about now? Let me see. Maybe I need to, let me refresh the app here. Or maybe stop sharing. I'm going to try to stop sharing and share it again.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, these sorts of things sometimes happen when you're trying to do live demos, everybody. We wanted to really try this out to ensure that, you could see how to navigate through the scene. So let us, just reboot this on this webinar here to, just give you some better idea of what it looks like when you're going through our screens.
Looks like it's moving now.
Yeah, I can see your mouse moving around for sure.
Okay. So we are going to, let's see, I'm just waiting for it to refresh. Let's see. All right, I think I got what's happening. All right, guys. So when you click on any of this, these are hyperlinks. Basically, it opens a new window. That's why. That's why it's not showing the new window that's open. You're still seeing the. Let me see if I can share it in a different way. Maybe like the browser or something.
Well, I can also show kind of graphically on the slides what you're seeing. I can also do that, Zach, if that'll help.
Yeah, that will help too.
Oh, there we go. I saw that.
It's just that. So you don't see the new window that I opened.
Yeah, I'm very curious to show the folks what kind of, really the kind of things that they're seeing. Let me share my screen, Zach, and we'll go through the slides and you can kind of walk through what we're seeing there as far as monitoring.
Yeah. Right. You can go ahead. I'll try to see if I can share like the whole window in the meantime.
So you can see, folks, that when you pull up you click on your inverter, for example, you'll click on your inverter serial number, and you'll start to see the the capability that you have to graph your system, Zach.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Dennis, let me try this again one more time, if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Let's see how this is going to play out. Sorry, folks. Let's just go to, again, our plant. There you go. Sorry about that. See, the new tab opened, but I was showing only one tab. So right now I'm showing the whole window. So you'll be able to see all the tabs that opens. So once you go to a specific plant, right, on the left tab here, you can go to device to see more detailed information for that device. So
Yes.
under that device, this is the inverter. You can also see the data logger. If you have an EPM, you can see that as well. So under inverter tab, you can click on the serial number, right? So it just opened a new tab. Here is the detailed inverter information. I'm going to show you another site with a grid tie inverter just to see how it looks like for like how to monitor multiple MPPTs, multiple strings. But yeah, so you can see all the voltages and currents per MPPT. Here's the graph, right? You can see on a daily basis, more granular data. You can see monthly. You can go to different months, right? Very granular. And for the inverter specific parameter, let's say, again, by default, it's power output. Let's say you want to see the DC voltages, right? You can see DC voltages for every MPPT, or you can select particular ones, right? Let's say you want to look at only PV input 1. You can look at the voltage. You can look at the current for the first MPPT, first string, right, or DC power. Yes.
Yeah, you can make good decisions about what you want to see this plant doing, or maybe you're seeing some weakness in one of the strings or something like that. And this, I see there's only 2 strings out of 4 attached on that particular site.
Yeah, so I'm just going to show you another one. Let's see, I'm going to select under overview on the main page, you go to device overview. You want to search for a inverter. If you know the serial number, tap the serial number, hit search. That inverter will show up. Click on the serial number again. Now here's another inverter. It's a 100 kilowatt inverter. On the first top half here, you can see the inverter data, the serial numbers, and the grid code, and also voltages and currents on the inputs. But now again, go down here. This is a 100 kilowatt inverter with 10 MPPTs and 20 string inputs. Let's say you want to see string 1, string 2, string 3, or all of them, right? So we can see all the currents on every string input. So that's something we are kind of like different from others. We are not only showing the MPPT level data, we are showing you the string level data.
Now, is there any remote troubleshooting that we can do on this platform?
So the data that you are displaying here is going to be very helpful to troubleshoot your system. Let's say your system is underperforming. You can take a look at individual currents, the voltages, right? Just like you can see here on the top, these are the current production data. And if one of the strings are not producing, that could give you an idea if there is a problem with that string. You can go and inspect that string if you like to. But there are alarms that you can actually take a look at, right? So, right, let's just go to plant again, one of the plants. We will select the plant. Again, on the left tab here, we looked at the device, and another tab here is the alarm tab. You can click on that. By default, it will show you all the pending alarms. Pending alarms means these are the alarms that are not resolved. They need attention. So at this point, there is no pending alarm, which is good. But if you want to see all the alarms that happened in the past, click on search, and you will see all the alarms that occurred at the site. As you can see, most of the alarms would be, especially during commissioning, will be no grid, no battery, because you're just setting up your system. But then occasionally you may get like, under grid voltage, under grid frequency alarms. They may happen due to grid fluctuations, and most of the time an inverter is going to resolve itself. But if the alarm persists, you can click on the alarm and it will give you some suggestion what to do. Click on that alarm and it will tell you what to do here. If it's an alarm that is not been resolved yet, it'll give you an advice on what to do next.
Yeah. Now you can control these inverters remotely, isn't that true?
Yes, Terence. What you can do with the inverter, you can change the grid code. Let's go to another site again. What you can do, you can set the grid code. You can change the specific grid parameters. Let's say you are working with Rule 21, but you want to modify. I'm going to go to the device again. Let's say you want to modify over voltage parameter or under voltage parameter. You can do all of these at the right top corner. You need to click on inverter control. And just a few things I can show you is on-off button here will allow you to remotely turn on and off the inverter. You can basically just select power off, hit save. This is going to turn off the inverter. Grid code, right? One of the most important things is because when you commission the system, you're going to have to select the grid code. Is it Rule 21 or UL 480 or UL 240-18? You can select it right here from the grid code field. All you have to do is, again, select it and hit, let's say, UL 240. You're going to have to hit save, and it's going to change the grid code.
Right.
And these are all the parameters for that grid code. In some cases, your local utility may want you to change some of the parameters, right? They may say, I want you to increase the over voltage trip point or low voltage, high voltage right to the settings. You can do all these settings remotely on SolisCloud.
That is so powerful. We were before we used to be able to switch from grid code to grid code, but now we literally can change parameters within the grid codes. That's the kind of granularity you have with this platform. You may find that, you may need to update the firmware on any of these inverters. You can do that via the cloud.
That's correct. Let me show that again. You can go to the inverter, and inverter upgrade actually allows you to update the firmware in case you need to update the firmware to the latest. Click on inverter upgrade. Two firmwares that you need to update. One is the DSP, which is the main processor of the inverter. You'll select that, and you will select the latest from the list, which will be on the top, and hit start upgrade. So this is going to start the process, update the inverter firmware on the DSP. It's going to take about maybe 10-15 minutes. And another inverter firmware that you want to update is the HMI, which is basically the user interface and the menu functions. Click on HMI, select the latest inverter. Again, it's going to be at the very top. Hit start upgrade. This is going to basically let you update the firmware on the inverter. It's going to cancel. Anything else you may want to show, Terence?
Well, I just wanted to, if you let me reshare my screen, I'll show you a couple of different things that you can also do, more advanced settings that you can do. Let me show you that indeed you can you can do that remote firmware updating, and you can see that there's actually, when you start it, as Zach said, it's probably going to take, 10 minutes or so. It'll start, and then it'll show you that it's updating the commands and that sort of thing, restarting, and then it'll give you a little success notice at the end. So that's sort of how it's important, to, update your systems occasionally through the years. We'll come up with new firmware versions and that sort of thing. And SolisCloud makes it easy to do that kind of updating. You can also do account management here. Zach, if you're setting up different accounts and that sort of thing, you really can really manage how you want to look at the accounts, how they're set up and that sort of thing. So you have some real flexibility in putting it together, the organization code and time zone, these sorts of things. You really can customize to whatever you like. And indeed, the device management, the same way. Zach went a little bit into this, but really you got a lot of flexibility here, and you're just going to click on that data logger serial number and be able to really kind of set it up for exactly the way you want it to go. So that sort of flexibility is really where I want to kind of leave you with here today. Even a warranty query, right, Zach? You can do this on the platform.
Yes. Just like you are showing, there is a button. You just need to type a serial number, hit search. It will give you the warranty information, just like you're showing.
That's it really helpful. And then at the end, of course, you can do inverter reports, right, Zach? You can print these things out and, give yourself hard copies, either to show to your inspector or whoever's wanting to look at the system. It makes it all the more flexible when you can print out some of the data.
Oh, yes. You can go as granular as daily reports, monthly, yearly, depending on the choice.
So that's what we wanted to show you today. We want to leave a little bit of time here at the end if you have any questions. And Miriam, if you notice anything in the chat rooms or question rooms, we'd really like to kind of address any of the questions anybody has that maybe they want to maybe have us take another look at.
Oh, yeah, we've gotten a lot of different questions, actually. And Michael's been answering a lot of them. So thank you, Michael.
Thank you, Michael. Yeah, I see all the questions pretty much answered already.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. I'm glad. This was really for you guys to really see what it was like to navigate around the platform and to kind of understand its main capabilities.
Yeah. So one question that we had is there a simple portfolio overview that lists all my systems that I manage that indicates a system that has an inverter that needs attention?
Right. So for that, you could go to select the inverters with alarms. That will be the one that pretty much needs an attention, right? Let me share my screen real quick. All right. So once you log into your system under plant overview, this will be all the sites, all the plants under your account. The ones that need attention probably is the one that with an alarm. You can click on the tab that says alarm, and this will show you an inverter with an active alarm. That would be the one that again needs some attention. Hope that answered the question.
Nice.
And then can we see a system with multiple inverters and how I might view, receive, and address fault codes? Possibly what remote functionalities it provides.
Let me see.
And in the meantime, another question we got was, how do you integrate weather sensors or meters onto the SolisCloud monitoring platform?
So SolisCloud currently works with our data loggers only. And our data loggers, unfortunately, at this point, our data loggers don't support the external weather sensors. So for now, we don't have a support. The weather data on SolisCloud comes from the nearest airport usually.
Right.
But if you have an external device, unfortunately, it's not able to be integrated to our data loggers. Mariam, sorry, I missed that question just before this one.
Oh, no problem. Somebody was asking if they could see a system with multiple inverters.
So, when you say with multiple inverters, again, one data logger connects to multiple inverters. The limit is 10.
Right.
But again, under your plant, you will be able to see every site which has, one or multiple data loggers. So, for instance, over here, plant overview, these are all the sites with one or more data loggers. You got to think of as, a data logger is usually, oversees multiple inverters. And for every site, you can have multiple data loggers. But the plant overview will show you every plant that you created just by clicking on Add Plant button. And again, under a plant, you can have 10 data loggers with hundreds of inverters.
Excellent. Yeah.
Any other question?
Yeah, as you can see, I mean, there's a lot you can do with the cloud. And as you get involved in this, we want you to register, and you can set yourself up as a owner of one of, a particular plant or that sort of thing. And just so you can see what the customer is going to see. And also, as Zach noted, we encourage you to set yourself up as an organization and then do sub systems of that rather than reset yourself as multiple organizations, right?
Somebody just asked, is there a plan to incorporate sensors to this platform at a later date?
Not to the Solus platform, because again, the problem is there right now is that the data loggers don't support it. And you need to add that external device in your daisy chain with the inverters and the data loggers. And unfortunately, at this point, there's no. And I mean, to the best of my knowledge, we don't have any date or any roadmap to add better sensors with the current SolisCloud platform.
Okay, great. Michael also said that there's one option for integrated meter / weather station as of now.
And indeed, that's all Zach, myself, Michael, we're all on the product management team here. Rahana, all of us are on the product management team, and we hear these questions all the time, and we kind of go back and forth as to how we're going to solve that. And so we're looking at a couple of ways to try to solve the problem. But Zach has been open with you folks on the call, because indeed we are looking at it. And we're also privy, of course, to the roadmap. And so right now, me and Zach don't see that happening in the next quarter. So we don't want to, overpromise here. And so it's just we're looking at another way, as Michael says, to bring in that weather data a little bit more granular, because indeed, storms and things will be recognized by your local airport and that sort of thing. So you'll be able to see some of that, but not as granular as we potentially could make it. And it's always nice if we're really trying to understand why a particular string is not performing or a home or something is not performing as well. It's kind of nice to know if it's very cloudy out or raining at that time. So it's nice to have kind of the very, very local kind of data. So we understand the issue and what it could mean to making your data even more useful and helpful to you. So we're working on it, but we can't, as Zach says, we can't make any hard promises or dates right now. I think thank you, Michael, for answering a lot of these questions. It really is, like I say, this is for you guys. We're really we're trying to make sure that you feel comfortable with the cloud. With you've got contact here for our service group. You can contact our U.S. Service at solisinverters.com if you have any other questions about the cloud. You can ask general questions to our team there. Like I say, they'll pick up the phone when you call the 866 number. And so you can ask general questions there, and we'll kind of log that in as a ticket just at that question, and then we'll get our team to answer. So this is not something that, the ending right here. This is a journey we hope that you'll start. You'll register your company or as an organization, and you'll start playing around with the platform. As Zach said, you can set up some plants without having any data loggers or inverters in the field yet, and just sort of set them up and see how it works and what you can do with that. And we look forward to helping you out when you finally get a data logger associated with a particular plant you've created, and you start seeing all that sweet data coming in from your plants. So, think of this as just the beginning of our interaction together, and feel free to either email us or contact us through our service group to get more information. And I really appreciate you coming by and spending some time with us today. From my whole team of the marketing group, Miriam and Courtney, who helped us set this up, and all my fellow engineers who are on this call with me, Michael and Rihanna and Zach, thank you so much for your support today. Really appreciate that. And Terrence, I really, again, thank you for your time. I know this is a busy season and people, are really working hard, and you spent a little bit of time with us today, and I really appreciate that. Thanks again, everybody.
Yep, thank you, everyone.
Have a great day, everyone.